Hello, good day. Oh, you just caught me having a sleep early on big log. And I got to thinking about the old times and how did our ancestors think about sleeping and dreaming. Now, sleeping today is a very important thing as it was then. We all need sleep. And most people dream. And what did our ancestors think about dreaming? Well, I'm sure they saw it like today. We see it as a magical thing. Does it tell the future? Who knows? But this kind of reminds me of an old Norwegian folk tale and story. And yes, we do love a good story on this channel. Now, this story is called A Fly Flies Out of the Mouth. And in many occasions and many times, people used to believe that when you was asleep, a fly would fly out of your mouth, and that would be the human being, the soul, flying away. And this story relates to that. Now, many years ago, over 1,000 years, if you could imagine, in this place, not named in the story, there were two women. And they was both in their 20s, which was a good age in those days. Both had children. And they decided that, they're going to have a walk out. It was a nice afternoon, nice and sunny, and they'd done all the chores of the day. They washed the clothes and prepared some food and got some logs in for the fire. Because every day you had to keep busy. You had to chop your logs, and you had to sustain your fire, and you had to go and get your food and get your water. And the men folk didn't always have time for this, so often the women folk would do this. And these two women, well, they decided to have, go out with a bit of mead in the horns and have a sit down by a lake, have an hour out. And so this is what they did. They had a walk. I often think about walking in the Dark Ages. Did we walk differently? And the two women that was walking, they had a cloak each to keep warm. After all, when you're going in the wild, you want to keep warm. And they both had a knife, because let's face it, if you come across a wolf or any sort of bandits, you've got to defend yourself. My best tip is to run away and not get into danger in the first place. And so these two women decided to sit down and have a lie down, have a natter. And during the natter, one of them fell asleep. She was very, very tired. She was the oldest of the two women, and she'd been up all day, like they both have, but she got many more children. She was just knackered, in other words. And so she fell asleep. But her friend, we were watching her at the same time, noticed something very strange happened. For when this lady, and we will call her Helga, was asleep, a little fly flew out her mouth. And it flew amongst the flowers, the pretty white and yellow flowers in the meadows. And then it hovered over the lake. And it disappeared into the lake. Now this woman thought this was very strange indeed. And for some time, her friend remained asleep. She tried to wake her up, wake up. She was just fast asleep. After a while, she did wake up and said, there's something very strange happened when you was asleep, she said. Oh yeah, what happened then? I said, well, a fly flew out of your mouth. And it flew around some flowers. And then, it disappeared into a lake over there, look. And the woman got up, she had a look. I can't see no fly. And the woman explained it flew into the lake, you can't see it. And the woman said, well, that's very strange, she says. Why is that? Said the other woman. I said, well, when I was asleep, I had this most weird dream. Oh yes, what about? I said, I was on a longship. And suddenly, we was in the water and I was drowning. And I was sinking, getting deeper and deeper. Very fearful I was going to die. Well, that is strange, said the other woman. What magic is going on here? And for some time they talked about this. And this is a very interesting folk tale, because we don't often hear folk tales about flies, do we? Snakes, and bears, and wolves, and giants. But this is the first on the channel about a fly. And it does make you think what this means in the symbolism of the fly flying out of the lady's mouth. What would you say if you saw a fly fly out of a mouth of a man or a woman? I probably think they're probably dead, or, like you see in the movies when all the flies fly out the mouth. Steven Spielberg, epic. It makes you think. But let's face it, we all dream today. I don't often dream. My dreams are mostly adventures, where I'm going out like as a Viking, and I'm in a wood, and I love dreaming. Dreams are so powerful, and they have so much magical symbolism in them. Now, the best way to interpret your dreams is to just go through it yourself in your mind. And you can actually, through meditation, carry on your dream to get to the conclusion. This is a fascinating subject on its own. We've been dreaming for tens of thousands of years. What did Vikings dream about? We dream about modern things. Did they dream about going on longship adventures? Did they dream about mead and gold? Or did they just dream about ordinary life, which the average Viking would have had? What do you think? I would love to know what you think in the comments. And if you have any suggestions for any more folk tales you'd like to hear, then let me know. And as for now, as I slowly retreat, I am saying goodbye. And I wish you good health. And I thank you, as I wave my hat, for watching this video. Oh yes, you've done great to get to this end, and we thank you a lot. Goodbye. I'm going this way. It's down a hill. No, I'm not going this way.